Bubbly bubbles! Bloody hell, it must be good. An experiment of champagne proportions. Very bubbly indeed. It's in the name of research. Hello and welcome back to the Bubble Diaries. Thank you very much for joining me again if you've watched before. If you're new, I hope you'll stay and watch along as we try some champagne. So this is my 5th champagne video, and this one is slightly different as it's going to include an experiment. The bottle that I'm featuring is this Piper Heidsieck bottle, which is why I went for the red lip, so that I could match. But I'm actually going to be doing a little experiment which is involving a champagne stopper. So I'll talk to you a little bit more about that. But first of all, I wanted to just check in. How is everybody doing with the lockdown? I hope you're all doing, I've just realised one sleeve is up. I hope you're all doing as well as you can be. I want to explain my change of location, which I hope won't garner too much judgment. So basically, I normally live in the West End of Glasgow, but I took the decision around about 5 weeks ago to isolate with my dad, who lives out in the countryside, because he actually lives alone. My mum passed away in 2017, so because he was alone, I just thought, if me and my boyfriend can quarantine ourselves in our flat and then we can move out here without there being really any risk. So that's what we decided to do. So we've actually been living here with him for about 5 weeks or so now. So I'm actually in my dad's little summer house, which is down the bottom of the garden. It's a nice place to sort of come and sit and have a drink. So I'll maybe do a little scan view so you can see afterwards. So one of my favourite things about champagne is the effervescent, sparkling, bubbly bubbles. This is the Bubble Diaries. So a massive pet peeve of mine is when you serve a glass in a restaurant or a bar and it's flat. And this is also problematic for me because I love to drink champagne, but we all know it's not cheap, it's expensive, and you either have to finish the bottle or you just don't drink it. Because generally I always find the champagne loses its bubbles quickly and it's just not as enjoyable. So this is the first time I've ever actually used one of these stoppers. I did used to have this giant diamond thing that stuck on the top of a bottle, but it was really more of a gimmick because it sometimes would just explode right off. So probably not the best. But this, Le Creuset Sparkling Wine Stopper. So this was £15. This is what it looks like. And will this champagne stopper do its job and maintain the bubbliness to a decent level over a 24 and 48 hour period? That is the aim of the experiment. So I'm just going to give a little bit of scientific information about the champagne, because the bubbles obviously are in there just now and they are pressurized because it's not opened. So what happens is once it's opened, air is able to obviously get in the bottle and natural oxidation occurs. So we have the loss of the carbon dioxide, the presence of oxygen, and that's what's going to cause the bubbliness to decrease over time. So there's a couple of things I want to mention. If you've ever put a spoon in the top of the bottle, apparently that does nothing at all. It doesn't work. So that's one thing that I had certainly done before. So apparently there's no evidence that works at all. The other thing that I read was that if you want to try and slow down the process of the loss of the CO2, you should try and keep the champagne in an even regulated part of the fridge. So it's better apparently to keep it towards the back of the fridge, just on a shelf, and not on the fridge door, because that obviously gets opened a lot and apparently it's way less regulated on the door. So that's a couple of wee bits of information. But I'm pleased to say I'm going to open the bottle now, and what I'm going to try and do is I'll switch the view of the camera. I shall film the glass, the bubbles, even the sound a little bit. If we can hear the bubbles, I'll obviously taste it, and then we're going to compare it to tomorrow night and then Sunday night as well. Okay. So this has been in the fridge all day today, so it's nice and chilled at the minute. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'll pour it from this angle just now, and then I will switch the view. Okay, so here is our glass as soon as it's been opened. Obviously, we are seeing an incredible amount of bubbles bursting up on the top very, very quickly. And I'll be quiet and maybe you can hear them. Just, I mean, fantastic when you actually study them in the glass like this. Okay, so I'm going to swap us back round to me. So obviously now I'm going to have a little taste, and I'm really going to try and think for tomorrow, compare it to this. Okay. That is the one thing about wearing red lipstick, is how do you not get it on the glass? So I'm trying to concentrate on just the bubbles at the minute. I would say as soon as I'm tasting a sip, it's fizzing on my tongue. And as you swallow, you're really getting that sort of popping sensation. So on the bubble scale, very bubbly indeed. What I'm going to do is fit the stopper onto the Piper. It's actually quite forceful, is what I would say. When I first was trying it, I was not using enough weight to get it on, but that is it securely on. I shall check the time. Hold on 1 second. Sorry for the funny angle. I just accidentally threw my phone. So it's 10 to 5. What I will do is fridge this champagne towards the back for 24 hours, and I will come and film tomorrow another glass being poured out of it. So I shall see you tomorrow. Hi again everyone, so this is now 24 hours later. It's just approaching 10 to 5 on Saturday night, and I've got the bottle here. I've just pulled it out the fridge with its stopper. I'm just going to take it off and we shall compare the champagne. So this is 24 hours later. So I'll just also demonstrate how you remove this stopper, because it is actually a little bit difficult. So you push the two legs in. Oh wow, there's actually, I hope you can see that. So I could feel that there was certainly a buildup of pressure when I was removing that. So here we go, we've got the same glass. I'll do the same thing, I'll pour it in and then I'll turn it round. So I think my initial reaction is the bubbles do seem reduced. The speed is maybe less. But what I will do is I'll put these videos side by side so we can see the comparison. I'll try and let you hear any noise from the bubbles. Okay, and so now of course I shall taste. Okay, overall my first reaction is that there's still a really lovely fizziness to it. I would say it's inevitable, it has lost some of the original bubbliness. However, really not a terrible amount. I would say that it has worked. I think the difference is you're still getting the bubbles on the first initial sip, and then it's sort of, as you're tasting it, they're dying away quite quickly. Whereas I do believe with yesterday's glass, the bubbles were lingering for a little bit longer. Overall, I think it's a good result we've had so far. So please accept my apologies for this hair I just decided to sort of push it back in a bun, and it's now obviously coming undone. Oh dear. So overall, so far, a great result. I'm going to give it one more day for the last bit of the bottle, and we'll see the difference tomorrow to see if, you know, you can get away with it for one day, but maybe 2 days is too much. Hi again, I'm back, and this time this is Sunday evening. It's just about 10 to 5 again, and I've got the bottle of Piper ready to go for our third instalment. So, got the same glass again, and let us compare. Okay, still some pressure when I have opened it there. So I do think we are now seeing quite a visible difference. I will do the same, just to show you, but we've really lost the sparkle now. Okay. So unfortunately, we're really seeing only the faintest hint of bubbles now. So that is just showing what another 24 hours have done. Okay, so here we go. I'm sorry that Teddy is there. He's just been really annoying, and he follows me everywhere, and he just barks the house down if I don't bring him with me. So he insisted on sitting there. I'm going to taste it. Not really that excited about tasting it, but let's give it a go. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's now completely flat. There's no hint of bubbles at all. Does it taste bad? Not really. I mean, still champagne. So what is our conclusion? I would say that the stopper has worked well for a period of maybe up to 24 hours. I could have tested it once more. I am aware that each time that I've unstopped the bottle, that is causing more oxygen to enter. So it would be interesting to do another experiment where the champagne was stopped and from Friday night and not opened until Sunday night, to see if it would be the same bubbly level as the Saturday night, because it's that opening that has decreased it. So there's more scope for another experiment. But I think overall what I would conclude from this so far is that the champagne held its bubble and fizz to a good level with this stopper for 24 hours, give or take. So I do think the Creuset, well done. It does work. Overall, my feelings are, if you're drinking an expensive champagne, I think you'd still be better just drinking it on the one night. However, if you're like me who likes to drink champagne and, you know, I'm not really wanting to waste bottles, I think you could certainly open a bottle on a Friday night, have a glass or two, pop it Saturday night, Bob's your uncle. So overall, a good product review. So I'm aware that the continuity of this video might be a little bit off because I've obviously filmed it over 3 days. I tried to have a similar look with each night with the puff sleeves. Almost running out of puff sleeve tops now. Not actually. I'm really going to be in trouble when puff sleeves are no longer in fashion. So I'm going to hand back to Friday night Leslie, as she talked more about the champagne when it was initially opened. So if I change top, that's why I filmed it on Friday night. I am sorry about this. I didn't really think it through. I should have been a bit more thorough. Anyway, so I wanted to talk a little bit more about some champagne vocab this month. You'll see here, Cuvée Brut. Now what the dickens does that mean? That was my first reaction. So, no, I think it's cuvée. Cuvée is a word that actually has a couple of meanings, but one meaning is when the grapes are being pressed to produce the champagne, it is the first level of juice that is pressed out. So it's known as the most prestigious, it's the highest level, highest grade, highest quality juice that you get from the grapes. So that's the cuvée. It also can mean generally a sort of blend or mix of different grapes or champagne. So it could also mean just a house style. The Brut refers to a level on the sweetness scale. So champagne has varying levels of sweetness, and Brut is, I believe, the second lowest level in terms of sweetness. So one below is ultra Brut, and then one higher is extra dry. So Brut is, I think, the most common type of sweetness in champagne. And there is a little bit of history here, which I'm not going to go fully into because that's not what this video is about, but historically the British apparently preferred the champagne way less sweet than some other nations. Apparently the Russians liked champagne much sweeter. So that's what the Cuvée Brut means. So we have our three classic grapes again. We have 50% Pinot Meunier, 20% Chardonnay, and 30% Pinot Noir. So I do also have some interesting information about Piper as well. It is the official champagne for the Cannes Film Festival, which when I realised this, I just was amazed because I absolutely love visiting Cannes. It is the most fabulous, glamorous place, and there's nothing better than going to Cannes and having a glass of champagne along the promenade or one of the beach bars or even one of the bars up the back streets. It's an amazing place. So incredible that it's the champagne for the film festival. The other thing is that it's the champagne served at the Oscars, so bloody hell, it must be good. Also, Piper has a really long relationship with the film industry in general. It is believed to be the first champagne to ever feature in a movie. And also, it is said that it was Marilyn Monroe's favourite champagne, as she famously said that she liked to start each morning with a glass of Piper. So that is just... I wanted to just chat a little bit about where I purchased it from. So this one I bought from Sainsbury's, and I do happen to know that Sainsbury's and Tesco alternate between discounting this champagne. So I think I think the typical price is around £33. However, both Tesco and Sainsbury's discount it, and it drops to around about 23, I think, is Sainsbury's, and 21 is Tesco. And for me, that is a phenomenal price for a top quality champagne. So I always search to see which supermarket is discounting it and if I can go and buy some. So anyway, I'm just going to say goodbye. I hope you've enjoyed the experiment. I'll be tasting another champagne next month, and I think I'll do the same thing with a little twist on the video, so there's maybe a topic or a subject rather than just a straight tasting. Let me know if you have any thoughts or questions. I'd love if you could subscribe and follow me on Instagram if you fancy. So it's thebubbledairies_. Well, have a fabulous weekend, whatever you're up to. I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.